Mala. Biya kamal ka nas economic library jen chana learning ni kon ka economic tin go along me jena menu go along no ni channel day support ka ko diri share diri like ka diri subscribe jena go along ala topic dan dong chet ka me chanen wang screen mo chet ka me chanen ke screen no topic dan ban right tama a basic economic question. Basic economic question again man right time and basic economic question that actually basic economic problem again basic economic question again basic economic problem is economic problem faced by economic system due to scarcity of resources again can basic economic question ke basic economic problem kan problem ten kon ten judge ke ten jeke ke economic ke da kan ngwane ten kwa ten kon produce ke anyena malono problem titi and basic economic problem ka problem ne ten to ko da kwak anyena dun tela da kwang ne sikanda judge ke sikanda ten anyena ko kiko da kwak ke da factor of production ten kwa at fund kon lo produce ke the problem ne ten can quality solve basic economic problem and then katen kanang dok the basic economic problem are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Again kan three basic economic problem ke economic question ne dang dok ti who can answer question ke scarcity ke who can lana effective allocation ke resource ko kwiko ngekone our resources are very limited in nature gor ko bana ke use wisely and yen angot kan kon ni waka action ko angong bana lat goro bana decision bana make ngot kan kon stem na kwan ko bana were ke men bana lat ko resource na dakan yen shawa what to produce o ka tenni to no dire tenni no do ke kan problem to take question tete and yen awa what to produce angu bana lat ke ngum bana produce and how to produce ka bana produce ka do matede and they produce manually ke they produce technologically technically they produce ka jamo for whom to produce ka ngane kwa lat ka kamo ka ngane ba lat ka kamo mi jin business man ni do teje no ngane bi jo kokto and product and ko produce ne and bana ka jakal ka le gome Manyam what to produce. What to produce point a problem of allocation of resources. Problem of allocation of resource. A problem ka distribution of resource in a different production areas. Ala gwa dan ki ngwane tende kon ko produce ko ngai kon no ta choite tin kyang human one are unlimited. Therefore, there will be a problem in allocation or distribution of resources among those different sectors. And it implies that every economy must decide which goods and in what quantity are to be produced. Again, our every economy point there, and what to produce point that we imply no every economy they decide on what and emit by producer. Kapeng menini by produce and the economy must make a decision such as consumption goods versus capacity goods, civil goods versus military goods, and necessity goods versus luxury goods. Again, allow a decision key choice by make and mean by produce and a woman they produce point and they consume key media capital manong they use in production of other goods and services. Civil goods, key military goods, and necessity goods, key luxury goods. Again, and then there along come they produce ne again in baloj what to produce. Lot kuno ngum bana produce men bana produce ngo again la malo no te ke choice ba ko ngwan ko produce one ke ba kon post yo bana me kam ngwane in do long no bana produce enjeno mono goro be choose wisely emanani be produce ke limited resource ten content ke ji ngena ko mi ci be choose ga bu produce mi jeng mo dong telem profit mi benongi ki be produce mi telem be long nas na mo ba jojo banana ka negative ko be resource be ko west ke jeno telem go mo bo nong na again question jolly what to produce ban na ka man to din gwam how to produce again mi ci ku ben law ci question mi jolly ci question malar jeno what to produce ci jeloj bi ben ko how to produce a problem of choice jena chana nen gwam a problem of choice of techniques problem ka technique na nen do den produce ke je machana ko ngaje no ngum bana produce bana ngaje no bana produce di example machana lara no bana production ka wheat flour bana produce wheat flour che ko de chaw ni le na no porpin mo gwa ma to jo cha nan ka market cha jo te ka product to wan to kwalat ka je wheat flour tama bana produce what to produce mo a question di la wheat flour bana produce wheat flour bana produce how to produce question me jogon kono bana ko produce di wheat flour again problem of choice of techniques what an economy has reached a decision regarding the type of goods to be produced and has determined their respective quantities. The economy must decide how to produce them, choosing between alternative method or a technique of production. Allow by choosing alternative method, technique of production mean like the best way in the product more they produce ke again chane larnen what to produce ti kon kwani wheat flour again wheat flour ma chane nang la choice ka what to produce how to produce a technique ni de kon nang ko ban wheat flour dinen nang ke donc denen lar ban ran moy ke farm ba pini ngana katen ba pini ne gematen enyan mana kak gemaka mana jari halka mana ngema mana japitin enjana no mo nyo jeno joji chana decision me chana decide agwa ke chana plan economic enjana chana ngajo no ngum bana lat ka ngum be kono lat ke je anamo ngum technique ndien bana jalat ke jamo enjana mono dien gwa me min gudien ka question en gudien gwa me pour to produce anga bana let ke jamo bana let ko bana ole ngu bana kam ngani the problem of distribution of national products. The problem of distribution of national product is related to how a product is distributed among the members of the society. Allow nema ko relate katako an product and that produced they distribute di ka jiwet ata materi they distribute ka jen product and that produced they distribute di ka jiwet enjena kangane gorata an economy that want to benefit a maximum members of the person first try to produce the necessity of the whole population and then to proceed to the production of luxury goods. Again, our economy magoro binas benefit go economic magoro matake decision magoro bana benefit to the maximum person. Ala goro bana in one baga benefit in economic mo wajan la goro no bamal for the necessity instead of the luxury one. Ngena bamal produce mandana da gwa ketik ngena chet ka kwan chet ke bi mala normal clone chendala ni luxury clone yo ngwana tin kong chet ke piu chet ke duel madana toiten ngena nying basic ni kan dia la kan la kon gje ke economy magoro bina certify ngena bina ko wakati la luxury ni tin kong ke luxury ni tin kong ngena ka ken three economic question dang dok what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. What to produce la no ngum bana lat ngum bana produce hejeno how to produce a technique ni bana produce ke je en min chana la bana lat ke min bana produce for whom to produce e kangane bana lat ke kemo kangane goro to en product mo ngane bana kam kato enjen loke a question which all for whom to produce again bana ngaje no every economy mo goro bi ne ka benefit la goro no ba jojo ba kon produce ni ngane ka the necessity goes ken necessity option na na ne ka da ko bi ka survive ga je ba ko lo kala luxury goes therefore eno ba product ba produce ba kon produce ni necessity product ken necessity goes and service bina ko lo kala luxury goes again go dan again go topic dan ka basic economic question ke basic economic problem again go along the topic dan da chong no makene to ka chop lo ai di gor ka komeni yo ka mo yo long no te ke mo goro di matin ke de matin wa me bi mat ba ka komen sakin ko goro dan aro den ko lo bri ala ka ta na ne galat ke je again go along Kwanas economic library support on di de long gor ke je long jena go along ban la ka topic de den the topic dan ndongen ban no tin ke chang be mo ba economic system and economic system and be topic dan be ban jok go along ya temal